It started with a smell. Workers at a Hollywood tow yard noticed something was wrong with a Tesla that had been sitting there for days. When police opened the car, they made a discovery no one was prepared for: the body of a teenage girl. The vehicle was registered to one of music's fastest-rising young stars, and that connection would turn a tragic discovery into a national headline. Her name was Celeste Rivas, just 15 years old. Reported missing more than a year earlier, her family had been searching, waiting, and hoping. Instead, they got a call no family should ever receive. But how did Celeste end up in that car? And who knew what? Tonight, on Dark Crime Case Files, we follow every verifiable step through the investigation, the unanswered questions, and the larger story that shocked both fans and a community searching for answers. She was a teenager from Lake Elsinore, California, reported missing in April 2024. Her family says she had run away before, come back, and lived in hope each day that she'd be found. Celeste was 13 years old when she was last seen at her home in Lake Elsinore on April 5, 2024. Neighbors and family say she was a bright, sweet girl, known for her kindness and small joys. She liked Hello Kitty sandals, wearing them with a sweater or a hat. She disappeared after quietly leaving home that night. Her family posted flyers, contacted police, and looked for her everywhere. She came back briefly in May 2024, called home, but after that, nothing. No confirmed sightings. No clear leads. Just long nights of waiting. Celeste's mother later shared her heartbreak in a public statement. Her family is heartbroken and devastated by this tragic loss. It's a simple, raw line, but it shows just how much hope turned into heartbreak. Celeste was identified by the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office as the body found in that impounded Tesla on September 8, 2025. She was 15 now, having gone missing over a year earlier. They matched her identity using forensics and unique features. In particular, a tattoo on her right index finger that said "Shu," which the family confirmed as hers. She was missing for more than a year, and then the call came. It was a small, ordinary detail that started everything: a smell. A Tesla that had been parked and then towed to a Hollywood lot gave off a foul odor. Tow yard workers noticed it and called police. When officers opened the vehicle, they found human remains inside the front trunk of the car. The remains were severely decomposed. Police confirmed the discovery took place after the car was impounded and had been at the lot for days. Authorities say the discovery happened on September 8, 2025, when workers at the tow yard reported the smell and law enforcement responded. The Los Angeles Police Department's Robbery Homicide Division took the lead on the investigation, and the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later identified the remains as a missing teenager from Riverside County. The medical examiner has deferred the official cause of death while further tests are completed. Investigators confirmed the normal steps were taken at the scene: securing the vehicle, collecting evidence, and beginning forensic testing. Because the remains were in an advanced state of decomposition, officials say establishing an exact time and cause of death will take additional forensic work, toxicology, autopsy review, and other tests that can take weeks. The way the car came to be impounded adds another piece to the puzzle. Neighbors reported the Tesla had been parked in the Hollywood Hills area for weeks before it was towed as an abandoned vehicle. Once impounded, it sat at the tow yard, and that is where workers first noticed something was wrong. Police later executed search warrants connected to the probe as the investigation widened. The discovery itself was already shocking. Then came another fact that sent the story into the headlines. The car was registered to a name everyone online knew: a rising music star. That connection changed the story's scope, and it pushed the case from a local tow yard finding into national news. The car where Celeste was found wasn't just any car. It was a Tesla Model 3, and its registration record added a new twist. According to police and DMV records, the vehicle was registered to David Anthony Burke, better known as d4vd, a rising star in the music world with millions of fans online. Now, it's important to pause here. Vehicle registration tells you who the listed owner is, but it doesn't prove who last drove it or who was with the vehicle when it was left on the street. Registration is simply the paperwork linking a car to a name. In this case, the Tesla had been abandoned on a public street in Hollywood. By law, when a car is left unattended or becomes a public safety issue, authorities can impound it. That's how it ended up at the tow yard, where workers later noticed the odor. Police have stressed one key point: ownership of the car does not equal criminal implication. Investigators have not named Burke as a suspect, and no charges have been filed. In a statement carried by the Associated Press, LAPD emphasized that the case is ongoing and that the department is reviewing all circumstances surrounding the discovery. For context, did you know? In Los Angeles, thousands of cars are towed each month for reasons ranging from unpaid tickets to being left too long on public streets. Once impounded, cars sit until claimed by the owner or cleared for auction. That routine system is how this case unfolded. But because this Tesla's registration traced back to a rising musician, the story shifted instantly from a local missing persons case to a national headline. Once the body was discovered inside the Tesla, the case was immediately turned over to LAPD's Elite Robbery Homicide Division. That unit handles the city's most complex and sensitive cases, including suspicious deaths like this one. The process began with the tow yard's call. Detectives arrived, secured the vehicle, and documented the scene. From there, they obtained a search warrant for a Hollywood residence linked to the Tesla's registration. A search warrant is a legal order signed by a judge. To get one, investigators must show probable cause, evidence suggesting that searching a location could uncover information related to a crime. It's a key safeguard in the justice system. Police can't simply enter a home because they want to, they need to convince a court that it's necessary. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner took custody of Celeste's remains. Because of the advanced state of decomposition, the cause of death could not be determined immediately. Officials listed the cause as deferred, while toxicology and forensic testing are completed. This process can take weeks, sometimes months. Forensics in cases like this involve multiple steps. Specialists establish identity through DNA and unique markers. In Celeste's case, her family confirmed a small tattoo that matched records. They also examine fingerprints, collect trace evidence, and review phone records to reconstruct her last movements. Everything collected is preserved under what's called a chain of custody, a system that ensures evidence remains intact, documented, and admissible in court. As of now, police say they are following several leads. But many questions remain central. Who was Celeste with before she disappeared? And what was her last known connection to anyone linked to this car? As investigators worked behind the scenes, attention quickly shifted to the name on the Tesla's registration: David Anthony Burke, better known to fans as d4vd. At just 19 years old, d4vd had become one of Gen Z's breakout music stars. He first gained viral fame on platforms like TikTok, blending alternative and indie sounds with raw, emotional lyrics. His hit, Romantic Homicide, earned him international recognition and millions of streams, leading to collaborations, festival appearances, and a growing tour schedule. When news broke that the car was tied to him, the story went from a local police matter to a national headline. Media outlets reported that he was cooperating with authorities, and sources close to the investigation stressed that registration of the vehicle does not automatically imply involvement in any crime. Still, the public figure angle changed everything. Fans flooded social media with questions, speculation grew, and coverage intensified. For celebrities, even indirect links to tragic cases can bring legal sensitivity, and in this case, the glare of public attention only sharpened. Authorities, for their part, have been clear. No criminal charges have been filed, and the investigation remains ongoing. Before her name was tied to the Tesla, Celeste Rivas had already been the subject of a long missing person case. She was just 13 years old when her family first reported her missing in April 2024 from Lake Elsinore, California. Loved ones told investigators she had run away before and come back, but this time felt different. Police reports confirmed she briefly returned home in May 2024, only to disappear again. After that, the trail went cold. No confirmed sightings. No verified contacts. For more than a year, her family lived in limbo, waiting for news that never came. Flyers were posted and calls were made, But without fresh leads, the case stalled. That changed in September 2025, when the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner confirmed the identity of the remains found in the Tesla. Investigators used a combination of methods that are standard in missing person identifications. Family members pointed to a distinctive tattoo on her right index finger with the word "shoe." Forensic examiners also rely on dental records and DNA when making positive identifications. In this case, the confirmation left little doubt. Celeste Rivas, the teenager from Lake Elsinore who had been missing for more than a year, was the young girl found inside that vehicle. If Celeste had ties to the area, or to anyone connected to the car, investigators now must prove when, how, and why. Once Celeste's identity was confirmed, the story spread quickly. At first, coverage appeared in Southern California outlets, local TV stations and papers reporting on a body found inside a Tesla at a Hollywood tow yard. Then it moved national. The Los Angeles Times, NBC, and the Associated Press carried the case. Soon after, international platforms like The Guardian and Al Jazeera reported it, framing it as a shocking mix of celebrity culture, tragedy, and unanswered questions. But the media spotlight also brought another force: social media. Fans of the musician connected to the Tesla reacted with shock, sadness, and speculation. Within hours, TikTok, Instagram, and X were flooded with hashtags and theories. Some users tried to connect the dots, while others shared unverified claims. A few even spread sensitive or misleading information, the kind that can damage real people's lives. This is where the ethical challenges come in. Online, rumor often moves faster than fact. Doxing, sharing private information about individuals without evidence, has already been flagged in connection with this case. And some sites published sensationalized headlines without the confirmations that mainstream outlets require. Here at Dark Crime Case Files, we stick to verifiable reporting. That means relying on police statements, medical examiner updates, and confirmed press reports, not unverified claims circulating online. Because in the end, some online posts may claim to connect the dots. But the only thing police will accept as evidence is proof, and that's what we'll wait for. The story of Celeste Rivas is more than just a shocking headline. It opens up bigger questions about the systems around us, and what happens when those systems fail. First, missing teens. Experts point out that young people who run away, or are seen as runaways, often slip through the cracks. Law enforcement sometimes prioritizes cases differently, especially if a teen has gone missing before. That can leave families waiting for answers longer than they should. Second, social media and fandom. In this case, the connection to a rising musician magnified everything. It brought eyes and attention, but it also brought noise, speculation, rumor, and conspiracy. For investigators, that can complicate a search for truth. It creates pressure to respond quickly while also protecting the integrity of evidence. Third, the car itself. Los Angeles has long struggled with abandoned and impounded vehicles. Thousands are towed each year, many left unclaimed for weeks or months. In this case, it was a tow yard worker's sense of smell that triggered the discovery. That raises a hard question. How many other vehicles sit unchecked, and what might they contain? And finally, forensics. When remains are severely decomposed, the work of medical examiners becomes even more difficult. The cause of death is not always clear. Time of death can be hard to establish. As one forensic pathologist explained in coverage cited by the Associated Press, decomposition forces investigators to rely on toxicology, dental records, and DNA, steps that take weeks or even months to complete. So this is not just one story. It's about the bigger systems we all live within: child welfare, runaway prevention, how cities manage abandoned cars, and how police handle high-profile investigations under a national spotlight. Answers may come, but for now, the family waits, and so does the public. This case leaves us with difficult questions. Could more have been done when Celeste first went missing? How should the press handle sensitive stories when public figures are involved? And what protections should be in place for teens who may already be vulnerable? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments below, but please, keep it respectful. This is a real family's loss, and speculation helps no one. For more careful, evidence-based breakdowns of cases like this, subscribe to Dark Crime Case Files and turn on notifications. We'll continue to follow this case and update you only when verified facts are confirmed. Thank you for watching.